Hi, Peter. My brother died at 53 because his body gave up due to alcoholism. My son, who is 18, told me last year that he was struggling with addiction to benzodiazepines and other drugs. Although I've tried hard to release any shame and guilt I have around my son's addiction, they both hit me from time to time. My son was bullied at grammar school, and if I'd have known, I'd have withdrawn him in a heartbeat. What makes me sad is that I didn't know. I just knew he was self-harming and in his bedroom isolated a lot. He didn't want me there with him, and so I got him help from the school therapists. I wanted him to have people who could support him. In the end, he turned to drugs for that escape. He now goes to Narcotics Anonymous weekly, and I do believe he's clean, but he's struggling for direction in his life, and according to his girlfriend, he's verging on suicidal. His dad has private health care, so he can access support. He's doing the best he can, and I'm supporting him from the sidelines, but is that enough? I don't want to become white noise and be on his case. I just want to know that I'm doing enough. It's his journey, but I have so many resources and wisdom when it comes to healing. But I think I just have to let him find his way. Is this good or bad? Charlie, I love the fact that this question presents so many different things, including your courage and your maturity, yeah, and your value as a mother. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate where it's coming from. In fact, that your heart really wants to hold a space and do what's best for your son. And there's that dichotomy of how much do I, in your mind, potentially intervene or interfere versus not do enough when I knew I could. Right? Totally get it. And this decent weight on the bar when it's your son. As a mother, I did it from son to mother, and that was hard enough. I can only imagine, yeah, from mother to son. Yeah. In my experience, when it comes to this level of, I, I'm going to use the word complexity, right? Although I don't want to make you think it's too complex because it isn't. But when it comes to the different aspects of the relationships here, his perception of the parental imposition, yeah, the confining in the girlfriend, the potential, the therapist, whatever it may be. You starring in your movie, which is the only movie you can star in, and from which I know this question came from, based on its language. Um, you've heard me say before, the best thing we can do is hold a space for people, be the example and invitation. We want to go a little further in this case, but not from a place of trying to interfere, because that could also have the potential here of him kicking back. Again, parents, you can't be a prophet in your own land. Have you figured that out yet? Making sure that he knows he is loved. Because right now, one of the things that makes him feel he's suicidal or undirected, in my experience in cases like this, is also for the fact that he's not good enough, which really can translate into I've let everybody down, including parents. And every kid wants their parents to be proud. Okay. So if you come in trying to help, it's almost validation he's not good enough. You follow? Because the presupposition is that, I need to help fix you, right? The ownership of that is I'm not good enough. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to come in and fix me under the guise of help. So in situations like this, one has to be a little delicate so we don't trigger that pattern in what, and again, I got to be honest, I think it takes that much courage to be an 18-year-old in today's world. It's far more complex than when some of us were 18. Yeah, I get it. I really do. There's so much confusion, so much lack of setting you up to win in an economy and society that, it just breeds polarity and confusion, and lack of ways to win. Something in this area of making sure that he doesn't feel judged, that no matter what he chooses to do, you're 1,000% there supporting, because that he could be, not know where to go in life. It doesn't matter. You're always going to be there for him because he's an amazing son and you love him to bits. On a non-physical side, which is where you start to step in as the star of your movie, using your power to be able to create. And we can't change other people's movies. But if they are in film extra mode, rather than starring in their own movie mode, they can be subject to positive influence non-physically. And again, they're on their own journey. So don't think that if this doesn't give a result that you want, that you're a failure and you did this wrong. But doing something like, for example, familiar with Ho'oponopono? Yeah, Ho'oponopono, an ancient Hawaiian Huna Native Indian prayer. The story around what made Ho'oponopono more famous in the Western world, and this was told very powerfully by Joe Vitale many years ago. You probably remember Joe Vitale from The Secret on that. And certainly had an amazing connection and some really strong time with Michael Beckwith here. And what an amazing guy. That on there also became very famous in The Secret, the head of Agape, who, by the way, was the Agape was where your oath of manifestation comes from. If you see at the bottom, I credit Michael Beckwith there. And something else I'll share a little later. I don't want to get too off track here. But when it comes to Ho'oponopono, and the Ho'oponopono prayer was essentially a gentleman in a mental institution who was a doctor that was struggling to care for his patients. He no matter what he tried, they weren't responding. And what he did when he came across this Native American prayer, he took out certain client files and prayed over these particular client files. And those particular clients that he prayed over started getting better. So he started doing other client files, and those people responded as well. Prayer is simple, it's 4 lines. You can look it up. And the 4 lines go, yeah, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can get into some of the nuance around that in terms of the, I'm sorry, please forgive me, is essentially a sense of surrendering any form of guilt. That's where the power of that comes from. It's not from a subservient perspective. It's surrendering any friction that would be caused by carrying levels of guilt or resentment or friction. Thank you, I love you is a very high calibration. Again, you can go look up the story, and I encourage you to do so. But taking your son as a client file, and without putting him into a room and doing an intervention where he's going to kick back. This isn't about sitting him down saying, right, we're going to say this prayer. No, he's never going to know. Your job is to feed love into his movie non-physically by holding that space, whilst at the same time letting go, which you're already doing a great job of, Charlene, of any self-judgment around your role in this. If you want my honest opinion, which is all I can express on here, I don't have kids, but if your son, which he's free to do, chose whatever path, and we all obviously are holding a space that it isn't any more self-harming or worse. But if your son chose whatever path that didn't align with your expectations, I would be far more at peace with the outcome if I'd have spent time holding a space, sending love and non-judgment, than I would trying to physically intervene in some strategy that would involve more therapists or whatever. Make sense? So remember, frequency beats chemistry, meaning non-physical matter reality is far more powerful than physical matter reality. The wave gives birth to the particle. Put your energy and your intention there with what you're learning and who you're becoming as part of this program, and you're likely going to have more of an impact than trying to wrap your arms around it and buy me. Now, that doesn't mean to say that if you get a download or a hit, or you feel compelled to intervene physically with some form of interaction, if it's coming from a place of truth because you're dialed in, then follow it. If it's coming from a place of desperation or frustration because you want to do something and not sit on the sidelines, tune in more. Everybody follow, because clearly this is just about Charlie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all have our own versions of this. That would be my take.